Hello and welcome to the Off-Grid Dev Stream. My name is Rich Metzen. I'm one of the devs at s01ep11, and welcome to the Off-Grid Dev Stream. We make off-grid. My name is Rich Metzen. I'm one of the devs at s01ep11. I've got a load of feedback, so I'm just going to have to bear with me a second while I fix that. I've got a load of feedback, so I'm just going to have to bear with me a second while I fix that. Cool. All right. Well, let's start again. My name's Rich. I'm one of the devs at s01ep11. We are a little sort of 4 or 5 or 6, depending on when we've got freelancers in helping us out. Dev team. We make a game called Off-Grid. It's a stealth hacking game about data privacy. By the way, do let me know if the volume is not at the right levels. I always have to mess around with this stuff a little bit, so I think I'll turn the music down a touch. I'll turn it down in my ears as well. That's probably a little better. Now I'm not shouting at you too. So Off-Grid is a stealth hacking game where data is your most powerful weapon. What does that mean? Well, it essentially means that you are playing a technophobe dad whose daughter has been taken away by the forces that be, and her hacker mates get in touch to say, we need to teach you how to hack to work out what's going on. So you get into the deep and dark world of hacking and hacktivism. And it's the game is sort of set in a sort of, if you will, Orwellian, a dystopian data future where encryption has been outlawed and everything's a little squeakier than it is today, but not by a long shout. So what I'm going to do is just show you a bit of Off-Grid to start with, and then I'll crack onto the dev stream and working on what I was working on earlier, which is writing conversations and kind of scriptable conversations in the game, and how you can branch them off and do interesting things with the modding API, call different functions, modals, audio, bits and pieces like that. So without further ado, I will probably jump straight into that. Make sure to say hello in the chat. We've got a bunch of different things going on here. We are in Twitch, YouTube, Periscope, Mixer, and Steam Broadcast, and I can see all of the chats. So do swing by and say hello in all of those. I will just quickly make sure that I've got the Steam Broadcast chat open, because that one doesn't push through all that easily. Where is it? Steam Broadcast. I should have done this first, shouldn't I? Chat only. You. Oh, I've got to log in. Well, should have done that first. Hopefully people in Steam Broadcast will jump into... Remember, you can jump into the Discord. Our Discord is easily found on our website, but also if I just ping the invite in here, that'll go to most of the channels out there. Oh yeah, it doesn't like me posting links. Oh man. Right. Well, anyway, let's get straight into looking at a bit of Off-Grid. So what I've got going on here is the copy of Unity that we are, the Unity project that we're building Off-Grid in. and essentially, yeah, I'll just throw the play button on there and see how we go. Might take a moment to load. There we go. Let's turn the background music off for a mo. So this is the map screen in Off-Grid. I could do this better, couldn't I? Let's pop that out entirely. There we go. So this basically is where all your mods, if you're a modder, if you play mods, your off-grid mods will pop up on that map there. This will take a moment to load. There we go. So in off-grid, oh yeah, this is a new thing. So if you've seen or played off-grid before, I'm gonna have to just try and fix this screen. Those lights are annoying, aren't they? What's going on there? Bear with me, pro streaming here. That's better, isn't it? So, one of the things that you'll all be seeing if you're in First Access, if you backed us on Kickstarter at the First Access tier, you'll be getting to play around with this new feature we've been working on, or this sort of update to a feature. If you played the demo on itch.io, or seen any of the trailers or watched this stream before, you'll have seen the kind of data tracing thing up in the top corner when you go into Spectrum, which is the sort of data view, augmented reality data view that we have. Well, Pontus has been prototyping a couple of different UIs for it, because we've got some mechanics that are coming in to do with how you're traced, and kind of these nodes that we're kind of dealing with, kind of like a kind of cascading proxy, a set of proxies, if you will, in hacker parlance. But as you can see, you've got these nodes that are disappearing up in the top thing. Yeah, it's not as kind of pretty as it will be. It's, it's a prototype, but we did start off by messing around with Josh G's Cogmind ASCII art tool, and that's definitely been a great inspiration so far. We've just got to get things right with it, make it look kind of terminally enough, and make it fit the rest of the aesthetic of the UI and the game. So these are conversations, crypt chat conversations, and this is what I'm going to be kind of doing a bit of in the dev stream as we go. Mucking about with here. Anyone who has picked up, like I said, from the demo, not the demo, from the builds that go into the First Access testing for our Kickstarter backers, will have noticed a few other cool things that are coming up at the minute. What's the hint? Stuff's broken. Oh, there's some broken doorways. Yeah, we've got there's some things to fix because we've been mucking about with doors. That shouldn't be a problem when you get your build update. Looks like that door's open. It actually isn't. It's locked. Everything's a little bit slow. I always struggle to run Unity and the stream at the same time. It's a bit smoother on the builds in Steam, but I want to show you exactly what we've been working on recently. So, what was I going to say? Oh, we've also been working on character controls. So you can see I'm sort of walking around. We've changed the controls about so that your jogging and your walking is actually controlled slightly differently. Crawling is much tighter controlled now, so that's nice. Yeah, thanks to Mike Robbo, our mate, who is one of the devs behind, or the dev behind Pool Panic, which was a pretty kind of wacky game. This is quite fun, opening invisible doors. Wacky game made in conjunction with Adult Swim. Anyway, he's been in helping us out, doing some character control work while we try to crack on with a few features, new features. So yeah, if you haven't seen Off-Grid before, you've got this Spectrum data view, and you've got an SSH tool for SSHing into devices around you. So here we go. We're going to download the user logs. Lots of you will have seen this stuff before, but I just like to make sure that I'm showing people the game in case we get newcomers coming to check things out. Let me just get the restream chat up just in case people are saying hello. Developer has left the chat. Developer has joined the chat. There we go. So, Best Man is back in. Good to see you. Tokyo 42. You're going to keep asking me to play Tokyo 42 on the stream, aren't you? I'd have to sign into Steam. I don't want to be messing around with passwords right now. Development is going well. Best Man has just asked how development is going. Hopefully, I'm showing how development is going, because there's been a few updates. So one of the things that we've got is this nice little update to some of the controls for crawling. They're a lot tighter. There's one of the guards. Definitely we're going to have to mess around with this window up the top, make it disappear when you're not using data view. That's something that's just still to be done. It's because we're still testing stuff. You can sprint while crawling now. It's kind of fun. Yeah. So, I'm just going to flick through these conversations. They teach things like the light monitor, and then we get into some of the stealthing stuff. So the light monitor gives us the ability to kind of dive around in the shadows. You can see kind of the light monitor up in the top left-hand corner. There's a number, percentage number, kind of like in Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, where you had the kind of camo, the level of camo that you're hidden by, or the type of camo's level of I don't know how you'd say that, how hidden you are by the camo you're wearing. So yeah, that's let's disappear around the corner while this guy turns up. Yeah, so this is what Off-Grid's looking like currently. I mean, Obviously, most people will have seen this level before anyway. Yeah. Cool. So, what have I been working on recently? Let me load up the other project and start showing you some stuff. So, the way that you mod in off-grid is the way that we work making the content ourselves. So, I'm loading up a project now that if you own a copy of off-grid because you're a Kickstarter backer who backed at the first access tier, or if you own a copy in the future, or if you get in on our beta testing by joining the off-grid Discord and showing interest, I guess I need to get a kind of sign up form going over there. Yeah, essentially, with your copy of Off-Grid via Steam, you get through the Steam Tools window, you download a project that looks like this. And this is a second Unity project. And for you, you would just be networking with... I've done it again, haven't I? I've made everything disappear by wiggling too many windows. I need to turn that setting off. Right. So... yeah, you get a second Unity project that looks like this. This is one of the levels. And it has a load of stuff, and it has these collections. And they're collections of things like, for instance, doors. I'll just update my version control so I've got latest on that, actually. So apparently not. Oh, in level kit. Cool. Let's see this update quickly. There's going to be a load of doors being imported because Soph has been our doorman. She's been basically whittling away at using Unity's new nested prefab stuff to make some doors that are all interrelated on a base prefab, so that it's easier to make variations and change them all in one kind of batch go. So yeah, we'll open that up and take a quick look, I suppose, as soon as these little refresh icons have disappeared. Have a fisherman's friend in the meantime. So there we go. So yeah, you get these collections that are all of the different models that we use. This is a set of doors. Doors of different shapes and sizes, widths, different handles on them, stuff like that. So yeah. The level that I'm working on currently, it's called the workplace. Oh, that's interesting. Didn't mean to do that. Right. Open that up instead. So, what have I been doing in this workplace level? Well, that's a point. I'm going to have to mess around with all the doors, aren't I? The doors in one piece in here? No, the doors are all invisible. Might wait until Sophie's in, start messing around with the doors. At least the glass doors are in place. So, in this workplace mission, I've been working on some conversations that you have with this hacker called Smedley, who is trying to help you out and trying to get you sort of tooled up, I suppose. So, the conversations I've been working on are here. These little Lua scripts. This is my main mission script. See here, it's a long old boy. There's a lot of stuff in there, but it's actually not as daunting as it looks at first glance. So the first thing I'm going to do though is, this should work without any errors because I think it was working earlier. Put that up there. Imagine this is your copy of the game that I've got running in the background. You know, literally just launched from Steam. If I now hit search for game on our little level, this is an off-grid level kit tool, so that's in this off-grid window up here, level kit tool. You hit networking and you hit start, and lo and behold, any moment now, this is going to try and push what I've been building in this Unity project directly to the game. And there we are. So here's a little modal window. I'm using these kind of modals to sort of placeholder for other events that I want to have going on. So you'll see in a moment. I mean, obviously nothing's been lit in this building. There's still no geometry on the outside. You can see some of the test stuff that I got going on. Controls are a bit funky. Test stuff I've got going on out there. There's like a big weird plane and some lights hanging out in the middle of nowhere. There's a little placeholder. These screens will be going a little mad, flashing and making noises, guiding you in this general direction. And then the thing that I'm working on currently is this section where you download CryptChat, which is the chatting tool that I mentioned earlier. So, okay, CryptChat is installed. Let me send you my public key, and we've got a little conversation that branches off about what is a public key, or okay, sure. So, depending on who you are out there and how well versed in PGP and crypto you are, and when I say crypto, I mean cryptography, not cryptocurrency, or not cryptosporidium, the bug that you don't want to get by drinking foul water, because it'll give you an upset tummy. But no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about crypto as in cryptography. So, what is a public key? Let's see, says, how long do you got? I'll say, give me the cliff notes, because you guys can read the rest of this at length some other time. It's the thing that allows you to know it's me speaking. That's Smedley's answer. Okay, sure, send it then, I guess. Smedley Butler is typing. Well, we should make that a bit funnier, because I mean, you've never met this person, so he goes, oh, how, yeah, let's muck about with that conversation, make it a little funnier. Anyway, so there you go. Public key added to keychain. That's better. Right, this is CryptoChat. Sorry, right, this is CryptChat. Smedley is typing. See the padlock in the top right corner of this window? It means we have exchanged public keys and are having an encrypted conversation. Okay, sure. Smedley says, encrypted chat is no small feat since the government's digital commerce bill came in, but we can get into that later. First point of business, you can review these messages at any time. Just hit pause and go to the messages tab. Cool. And this is what I'm going to show you. I'm going to experiment with some stuff because I think I can get that to show up as a picture in the middle of the conversation. Anything important that we talk about, I will flag it, and it will then also be generated in the task list app you have. Make it easier to see what you need to do. That's not a real sentence. Obviously, I was tired when I wrote that. I better fix that. Again, you can review your current tasks in the pause menu under Tasks tab. Ooh, I've never used that tasks thingamabob. No probs, we have a lot to learn here. Might that be Smedley Butler then? There you go. It is Smedley Butler. It's a reference, obviously, to the corporate coup in the 1930s. Smedley Butler was not a so savoury character, but interestingly, he, well, I mean, you can look it up. Yes, Smedley Butler has an interesting background, and that's this Smedley Butler has basically borrowed that for their hack and nick, for their handle. So yeah. So what I want to do is get that to throw up a couple of modal windows, and it looks like I've managed to make it crash the game. So chat securely about how to review messages and tasks. Yeah, it's running really slow with 2 copies of Unity running and the streaming stuff, but that's all right because we're doing dev stuff. The new Smedley is fine though. Who's the new Smedley? As in the new Smedley, there was a Silk Road admin that got caught who had the name Smedley as well, I think. I'm not 100% sure. So that didn't work. That was actually meant to throw up a modal. So I think what I'm going to do is jump over into the kind of code side of things and show you a little bit of how these conversations work and what I was trying to get it to do. Oh, maybe that is okay. Being surveilled. Intro to crypt chat. Chat securely. Ah, that's better, right? This is crypt chat. Oh, maybe I've lost my changes. No. Generating. Send picture. Well, perfect. I have to redo this from scratch. I mean the one with the techno buggy. The one with the techno buggy. I don't know Smedley Butler with a techno buggy. I know a Lowry Love with a techno buggy who he pushes a child's pram around with a huge speaker that pumps out techno. Is that the same? Is that the same guy we're talking about? And hello, welcome to the off-grid dev stream. Thanks for joining in and saying hi. Unknown user is the handle that I've got you under, which is eerie and quite difficult to say hi to. So let me know in the chat. Indeed. I think. Right. Anyway, so back to what we're talking about. I'm going to throw some off-grid soundtrack in the background. That was another interesting thing. I've had a chat in the last week or so with some friends of friends who are producers who might be doing some. How many unknown users do you know? based on Based on some of the sentence structure, I think I might know this particular unknown user who also knows someone with a techno buggy. So good to see you. Right. So the thing that I was hoping to have in here that I've managed to miss out is the idea that we might want a modal image that shows. Yeah, how have I lost all that? That's interesting. Content. No, I've got them. I've got these modal images. Okay. So I'm going to create a modal that shows the player an image of the thing that we're trying to describe there. So we're saying, first point of business, you can review these messages at any time. Just hit pause and go to the messages tab. So what we then want to do is in this next you hit send response cool, and this next function will run, and we're going to want to display a modal. So the easiest thing to do is check out the off-grid modding wiki, which you'll have the ability to find at wiki.offgridthegame.com. So I can't remember exactly where the modal stuff is, so I'm just going to search the word modal on it. UI Lua API, there we go. Control F, modal. Oh yeah, show modal message. Perfect. Right. So UI show pop-up type header message timeout. Oh yeah, this is one of those things where we haven't got the documentation telling us exactly what some of those types are. So basically, that's what we're going to do. We're going to pull that back up actually. What are we doing? UI.show pop-up type header message timeout. I.show modal message. Lua message. Oh, it's meant to take more than that. Yeah, fine. Oh, that's because that's pop-up. Yes, of course. Yeah, I remember now. So it says Lua message, but the Lua message is a Lua table, and it's this modal table type. That's something we definitely need some more information about on the wiki. But an easy way of showing you that stuff would be to go into a different mission and look for a modal there. So this is a good example actually. The modal tables. To this so that you can all see a little easier. Hopefully the text is big enough on the screen there, folks. Shift over this way a bit. Let me know if it isn't. Hello developer, how are you doing? I'm doing good, thanks best man. Is this text big enough? Can you read this text apart from my head being in the way? Which we can solve like this a bit. Oh, I know, we can solve it like this too. Right. So, we're gonna take a table like this. This is a modal table. Let me just bung that into this chat securely conversation that we started. Message type large. Message would be something like, first point of business, you can review these messages. Maybe we don't want a header. I wonder what. Let's leave that string empty. Message is going to be something like, oh right, yeah, we don't actually necessarily want a message. We're literally going to throw the image up. So yeah, that definitely needs to be at the top of the screen. The image path is the next thing that goes in. Yes, developer, I can read. Best man says he can read it. Good. Or she. Best man could be a she. It's possible. It's just a handle. Could be trying to throw me off the scent. So, right. There's no image path on that one. Yeah, where did I? Let's pull up a different mission to nick some stuff from. So this is something that you can do also, like basically really good way of learning to mod is just by taking apart some of our existing levels. So little trick here, we're going to go into the newspaper office level, go into the content folder, find the mission script for that one, and then search modal in there, and that's not the one we need. Right, yeah. That's the path, content, modal images. Yeah. Oops, didn't mean to do that. So we're going to put in an image here. Oh no, not like that. We're not. Let's just do content. Modal images. And then I took some screenshots earlier that should do this a lot nicer. Not in that level though. We want a messages, yeah, we've got a messages modal and a tasks modal. So we want the messages modal. It's called messages modal 01, messages dash modal 01. .png. Yep. And I'm he. Best man is a he. Pleased to meet. Well, good to see you again, and all that. So, messages modal 01 PNG. Now, oh yeah, I'm putting that in the wrong place though. So we'll actually remove it from here because this is the part of the script that we want to put it in, this conversation. So replace our image path, image of Joe on. Oh right, have I done this wrong again? No, yeah, that's fine. So we're going to call that review messages modal, probably. Quite hard sort of writing code with the text this big. I can't see any context. So let's review messages modal 01. Messages modal. Right. That ought to work. He says, we'll just make the confirm text there, say close. So what I'm hoping is the minute that you set your response call, it should throw up in the middle of this conversation a modal message that we've just defined here as a message type large. It's not got a header, it's not got a message, it's literally just going to have the image in it. We'll see how weird that looks. It might not look very good, but we'll see. So let's test that out, I guess. So then we run back to Unity, and as I said, struggling a little with running 2 copies of Unity. Next time I will run the Steam version. I'll hit stop here. Start. And the Lua changes that we just wrote will hopefully load up in this the game. You have to bear with the sort of slight jaggediness of this all. It's just one of those things when you're in the middle of making a game, you're not necessarily working on performance straight away, and definitely not working on how the game performs when you're running 2 instances of it and some streaming software. But you know, we will address that kind of thing later in development, so don't worry about that. So installing CryptoChat pops up here. Here's our conversation. Okay, CryptoChat is installed. What is a public key? No, we'll just skip that. Okay, sure. Smedley Butler is typing on its way. We'll ping you securely when you have it. So we should get an... Oh, here we go. Right. So, conversation.lua, line 27 expected. Alright. That's probably something silly, as it always is. Line 27. Oh. You might have to do this slightly differently. What doesn't it like about that? It might need me to pass the table into it after the fact, which is fine. I'll just define the table above. Do it properly though. So, yeah, I think this is probably it. Just take the name of the table and pass it into UI.show modal message, and then it should have all the information ahead of time and be able to push it through. So let's save that. Continue, and the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to, if it'll let us, pop back over to the level kit copy of the game. There we go. We'll hit stop. I think, yeah, we'll hit stop there. It should stop the game and start it again. Everything is starting to slow up a little bit here. that should load in a moment. Oh man, definitely going to play this through the Steam build next time. Oh no, I can't until we put. So part of the reason for that is that I actually haven't updated the Steam build recently, and we've changed Unity version, so it probably wouldn't connect properly to the modding tools. So we're just going to skip through here, and installing crypto chat happens. Okay, crypt chat is installed. So, okay, sure. Leave chat. Next chat happens. Oh, that's not done that the way I wanted it to do it. That has thrown up that modal at the beginning of the conversation. It's run all of the code for the conversation at the beginning of it. Push the modal up instead of waiting until we get to the section in which we're meant to be having that conversation. So that's basically, Pontus and I are going to have to do that slightly differently with it. Might be able to do it with a pop-up instead of a modal. Get into that later. Cool. So it was going to be that we hit cool, and then it popped this modal up, and I was hoping it would have the right image in it as well. But we're also in a slightly awkward position with it because we can't actually close it. So let's see what happens. Right, yeah, and then yeah, that's not very nice. Let's try that differently. I think I'm gonna have to make a different kind of pop-up. So, probably not gonna do that tonight. Probably end up having a chat with Pontus about how he thinks we should go about it as well. But that gives you a basic impression of some of the things that you can throw up into a Lua conversation in that kind of a way. Might need to put a scheduler around it. So I mean, like, I'm not going to necessarily be able to guarantee what the player has. Let's stop this in the background. Oh, it's so clunky at the minute. Yeah, not going to be able to guarantee what input the player has put in if I put a scheduler in to delay it. That kind of thing works for, so like you might have noticed in that conversation, one of the things that happens in the intro conversation is we have, well, I've got a to-do here for sending the file, but I've got UI show pop-up 4 seconds after, and it goes system generating key pair, and it lasts for 5 seconds, and you get a little kind of progress bar happening, and that happens in the middle of a conversation. So it's maybe that this functions slightly differently to oh no, it must just wait 5 seconds. I think that one waits 5 seconds. So that is one way that we could do it, although it's just not as clean as I'd like it to be. So I think I might have to think on that one a little bit. We've got about 10 minutes left of the stream. I guess like one of the things to ask is, has anyone in the chat got any questions about any of this? kind of stuff, like please do say hello. If you've got anything that you'd like me to cover in a future stream, then also let me know. If there's any element of this that I didn't really elaborate on properly, also let me know. Are you going to play Tokyo 42? Did we decide whether there was any hacking in Tokyo 42? I'll tell you what. Why not? Why don't we play a little bit of Tokyo 42? What I will do is I will probably do this little thing that I was going to show people if no one's got any questions, and then I will. I'll boot up Tokyo 42, and we can see how that goes. Yeah. So. The question is, how long are you developing this game so far? Well, we started making Off-Grid. Well, I mean, we started prototyping it years and years and years ago. But Pontus and I started making it full time at the beginning of 2016. So we've been making the game for the beginning of 2016, 3 years. 2019 now. Yeah. 3 years with the two of us. And then with a few other folks who joined the team in the last year or so. So yeah. The plan is for a release later in the year. Basically, by the end of the year is what we've been telling people. Like most indies, you know, you've got a scope that you're working within, but it's always subject to some element of flexibility or change. So yeah. Right. The thing that I was going to do is call in sex real. I was going to run in this scheduler, sending the player a file. So, how does that work again? That's a good question. Is there a Gibson in the game? That is a good question. There should be. I was thinking this through. I was thinking something along these lines the other day. Oh, I was thinking about there being a line in the game that might kind of mimic some hackers stuff, where one of the characters gets best man, who is Gibson? Gibson is a supercomputer. It's a type of supercomputer. So yeah, I was thinking that like at some point maybe Smedley or one of the others might call Joe the player a Joey, in reference to Joey the kid in the film Hackers, who is a bit useless. He's a bit of a skid, and he hasn't proved himself with a righteous hack by hacking anyone on purpose. And so yeah, I was thinking that maybe Smedley could insult the player character Joe by saying, "Oh, Joe, you're a bit of a Joey, aren't you? You haven't done a righteous hack yet." And Joe or another character could pop in and say, well, you know, Joey was the first one to hack the Gibson, so yeah, that's my little cool story anyway. We'll see. I'm sure it'll work out better than that once I get to trying to write it down. So yeah. Best Man is asking who is Best Man. Best Man, you would be the best person to tell us who is Best Man. Joe, you got to stop letting your mum address you. You hopeless man. Yeah, exactly. Yep. So, yeah, that line is Leopard Boys, isn't it? The freak. I'm the freak. You play the game? Yeah, perfect. Is that code on your shirt real? Yeah, if you can read that clearly enough, if you can get your camera to follow that, it'll get you to the Wishlist page on Steam and you can click Wishlist. Am I standing still enough? Close enough? Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. Right. Yeah. Let's do some send data stuff. I think that's a good idea. So, one of the things in the workplace mission that we have. We've got a couple of folks here who are interested, and I don't mind running the stream for a bit longer. So if people are keen. Best Man. Okay, that's just weird. What? Having a QR code on your shirt is weird. It's perfect. It's how you get to the game page. Right. So what I was saying was the way that the mission script kind of works when you're modding off grid is you kind of define some real basics: start time, a few states. These are kind of global states that you can get and set for checking whether an objective is complete, or in this instance here, who the most annoyed guard is, or whatever else. You've got lots of leeway for structuring your own variables at the top of the script. Then you've got character definitions. That stuff's easy. So I'm going to make a note of let's throw that into one of the crypt chat conversations. So unknown user, my friend, we are going to throw the hacker's quote that you perfectly pulled out by Joey and put it in there. Just let's stick it in here just as a to do. Right. Yep, that's in there for me to remember to work in to that conversation somehow, or one of the ones around it. My monitors are about to turn themselves off. Just a second. Right. So after the character definitions, you have your inventory items. There's some cool stuff going on now that I'll be able to show you a bit more of in another dev stream, but we now have an on item use function that can be called from any item, any item in your inventory, which means that you can split items apart. You can the consumption of an item can do something in world, like complete an objective or start a conversation, or anything you can do in the game, can be done. You can unlock a door by using a lock pick out of your inventory if you so wish. And we'll probably build a combine item so that, if you get a Raspberry Pi and a Wi-Fi shield, then you can combine the two, and a flash card that is running OpenWRT, OpenWart, and build your mesh node out of pieces, stuff like that. So that's quite a fun thing that I'll show you a little bit of as we go. Right. Best man, imagine being a PewDiePie and fans are photo shooting, and then they ask ourselves, what is that code? And then they can scan it, and they just went on your stream and wishlist that game. Yeah, so, I mean, yes, it would be pretty good if someone the scale of the world's #1 YouTuber was wearing a shirt like this through one of their streams and just scanned it and went to our game page. If you happen to know anyone along those lines, then let me know. I will personally print one of these t-shirts by hand, because these are custom made, and I'll send them with a note to your mate who is a massive streamer. Yeah. So that's how some of the inventory stuff works. That's kind of interesting stuff. We could call anything from the Lure API out of that, which means that you kind of get the equivalent of an adventure game mechanic. Like you can pretty much kind of find or collect anything. If you then go, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. If you go and pick out something out of the Lure API, basically you can combine items. Like you could go dumpster diving and grab a bin bag, and you could use the bin bag item to dump out the documents from it, and that would leave you with a load of paper. And if you got a bunch of pieces of shredded paper together and combine them, you could maybe form a password that was on one or something like that. So Best Man is giving me a list of people, streamers, that I should probably take note of. I don't know any of these people. I'm so bad at this stuff. Ninja, Jack, Septic Eye, Matt Shee. I've heard of Matt Shee, or Little Pump. Don't know. Yeah, by all means probably should send them all an Off-Grid t-shirt. I doubt they'd wear it. That's the thing, is you have to know someone who knows someone. That's how these things work. Right. So. Best Man, I'm sort of wondering about whether we should just I'll announce playing for Tokyo 42 sometime. I could even see about getting the publisher behind it, Tokyo 42's publisher, Mode 7, who's a friend, Paul Kilduff Taylor, see whether he might live stream doing some Tokyo 42 playing with me, talk me through it. Maybe that's a better option for that, so that it doesn't just completely throw people off who've turned up to the Off-Grid dev stream expecting Off-Grid. How does that sound to you? Right. So yeah, you've got this on item use stuff. That's a new one. Oh my god, really? That's awesome. Yeah, that really. I'll get like Paul's a good friend of mine, and he's a lovely guy. I'm sure he'd be up for doing something like that. So if you're interested in that, I'll try and get that arranged. And then maybe they might be up for doing a key swap and doing a giveaway or something like that. I'm speaking out loud here, but I will go and talk to them and see whether they're up for doing something along those lines. Yeah, perfect. All right. Well, I'll organise that. I'll make a note. Organise Tokyo 42 stream with Paul and key giveaway. All right. And best man, you're in our Discord, aren't you? So make sure you keep an eye on the Discord, because that's probably the place that I'll announce when I do that. And it's probably the sort of thing that I'll put in our newsletter if we're doing it as well. So I'll try and make sure that you find that out. Cool. So going back to off-grid modding, I think there's something fun that we can do here with throwing things into conversations. And that is this next thing. You've got data that you define, and we've got the player PGP key. There's a few different things that are meant to be in the player's inventory, or that will end up in the player's inventory, or player's data inventory. So what we're going to do... Oh, do you already have the player PGP key? I might be using it as a check. Might have to create a different piece of data called player ID for dealing with this differently. But either way, I want to send that data to the player. So let's Control F and see where else that is found. It is player add data file. Player PGP key mission.data. Right, so I think we can basically nick that line, because this is in start mission. Yeah, I think we can just nick that line and bung it straight in the conversation. It should work, because it's mission data player. Yeah, it's giving you the mission path. I don't see why that won't work. Yeah, how are we doing it from devices would be the question. Let's have a quick look at the dev laptop that sends you some data. So, oh, that does assign key. That doesn't actually. Okay, run mission command. Doors.assign key. Yeah. Okay, cool. So basically, in this conversation that we wanted to muck around with, intro, crypt chat, we want to say run mission command. I think, I'm not certain. Let's just, yeah, and then passing it as a string. Doors assigned key to character. So we're going to do this player add data file mission.data player PGP key. And what we want to do actually is take that out of the inventory so the player receives it this second time. Oh, tab that in so it's formatted a little more nicely. Best man, being a developer is tough. What do you mean by that? Do you mean that wholeheartedly, as in you really feel for me, or do you mean core? You know, knowing the guys behind Tokyo 42, you must be living the high life. Which do you mean? Right, so we're going to run that mission command. We're going to go back to the mission script and we're going to take the PGP key out, comment that out for now, and we'll probably go back to do remove, redo, to do remove this line. Just in case I forget during or after the stream, because that does happen. Oh, look at all this. You know, I do know Video Game Donkey. In fact, our friend who is in the chat with you, best man at the minute, unknown user, is, if it's the person I think it is a Video Game Donkey fan. The script is long. Yeah, you're right. Being a developer is tough because this script is long. But you know, that's it's what we do for a living. So if it was easy, everyone would do it, I suppose. Right. So we've just commented that PGP key line out. I think I'm gonna add something else to the player's inventory instead. We're gonna make a piece of data that we'll call player ID or something. Oh, it's kind of a tricky one actually. Player PGP key. Needs to be something that the character would actually be carrying. Let's call it player ID for now. We can have a think about what data would you have on you all the time? I found it on channels the Video Game Donkey, best man says. You mean you found Video Game Donkey on channels the Video Game Donkey? Yeah, Video Game Donkey is funny dude, funny guy. Have you seen his Nintendo Switch one? That one is good. Oh no, it's not just the Nintendo Switch one. It's what's the Nintendo cardboard stuff? And he like gets the box and he's like complaining about it's a box within a box, and they're making him make his own box. It's good. You should look it out. Right, we're going to make a piece of data called player ID, and I'm going to turn it into something that works within the story at another point. So we then head on up to our data table. Probably don't need as much information as that in it. We're going to duplicate this boss password and we'll call it player ID. Internal name is going to be player ID. Name is going to be let's it could be a tracking cookie, I suppose. Like, it could be that, like, in this Orwellian world, everyone has to have their ID cookie on them at all times. Universal. Universal identity verification tracking cookie. He made 3 to 5 minute. Labo, you're right, yeah. Nintendo Labo. That one's hilarious. Video Game Donkey, he made 3 to 5 minute long videos, sometimes even 10 minutes. It's from 3 to 10 minutes long, very short. Yeah, is that a dig at how long my videos are? My videos too long? You've been around the whole time. You must be enjoying the length of this video. He makes videos, not live streams. It's kind of different thing, different format. So universal identity verification tracking cookie. This is a government issue. A government issue. Cookie that allows services to verify you. Create a name. Create a name. Probably the Department of Population Control. Donkey live streams going to 3 to 4 hour range. There you go. I didn't know he live streams. Cool. Out of that, he finds a 5-minute video. What's his Twitch name? I don't know. Don't know what his Twitch name is. Good boy, Mo. Data string. I don't actually know what the data string is needed for. Okay, right. That's what's in it. Interesting. I wonder what that file might look like. Whoa, what am I doing? Cool, right, so we've made a piece of data called player ID. Best Man says, do I know where Video Game Donkey streams? No. Was the answer. I said I didn't know that he streamed, so I'd never know where he streamed if I didn't know that he streamed. Would I? So, player ID, we're going to use this basically. What you'll see, I've set up some mission objectives here that are triggers. They require, if name equals player get name, that's good. Some other stuff I've actually been checking quite badly with whether the player has a PGP key on them or not, which is a bad idea. So I'm glad to see that I haven't done that everywhere. That should be alright then. Let's test some stuff. You should see this piece of data that we've made come up in the data inventory now when we test the game. Throw that back in the editor and see whether that helps at all. I'm gonna do that. And then I'm gonna get rid of a few of these. That's a bit better, isn't it? So, make sure I've changed. Whoa. Offline. Why are we offline? I think I lost you all there for a minute. Don't know why. Hopefully I'm back. Let me know if I'm not back. Oh, I hate how this thing works. I don't even know whether that's getting sent. Right. So then. Oh, I just got a Discord message saying it's offline still. Cool, we are back online. Right. Basically, gonna go now on live stream. Cool. Well, we were just gonna test those changes. So, like, let's do that. Like, we're gonna run the game. I'm gonna turn the music down in the background here quickly. And hit search for game on level kit, hit start, and we should at least see the data that we've added to the inventory here. Go to the other project. Yeah, loads it up. So now, in our inventory, oh, why isn't it there? I swear I've added it. USB dumplings. Oh, that's why. Universal identity. There we go. It's not in the physical inventory, of course, in the file inventory. Universal identity verification file. We can view that file, and that's what it says. A government issued cookie that allows services to verify you. So there you go. That's how you add a piece of data to the game and then to your inventory. And then if you don't want it to be in the player's inventory, you want it to get sent around in a different fashion somehow, then you can add it into a conversation script like I just did. Oh, I did do that already, didn't I? Let's check. Yeah, so we should have once I go give me the cliff notes, we should run the mission command, add data file, player PGP key. And all being well, that should work. So let's see. Oh, we can turn music on with iTunes. the iTunes app. And what happened to live stream? Best man says. What happened to the live stream just now? Why did it go offline? I don't know. I mean, like, I don't live in a major city, so it's just shonky rural broadband probably. So here we go. There's the generation of the key pair, download file, personal PGP, encryption key, AES256. Perfect. So probably don't want it for downloaded file because it makes it sound like, yeah, let's see. Might change that notification type so it's not a download. But now we have personal PGP key being dropped in. So yeah, unknown user has to wonder. Cool, good to see you. Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you again. Yeah, I'll. Thanks for joining the live stream. I'll see you soon. Why does the game run smoothly now? That's a good question. It's because of the way that we're doing the modding stuff. So basically, I'd run the mod to this window of the game a few times, and it wasn't very happy with it. So I probably should have just stopped and started a few times. Sometimes that happens with the loading. But we'll see. I mean, yeah, we can have a look. There's that modal image that's bust as well. That's interesting. What have they just done there? Skip through this. And now it's frozen. This is hashtag game dev. But yeah, so that actually is sort of a relatively good place to finish off, seeing as, well, it's not perfectly smooth, that's for sure. It's starting to get a bit laggy again, isn't it? There's the secretary AI. She's meant to spot us. There we go. McGill is working me like a dog, that is for sure. Right, yeah, so essentially what we have seen now is how to set up your conversation script, how to run literally any API call function in the middle of a conversation and get something interesting to happen, such as PGP key being added. Run mission, add data file. Alright, it does. I can't set what kind of notification it is. It is a download. It's alright, I suppose. We'll see. I mean, it says it's generating it. Probably forgivable. So yeah, these two functions running in the middle of a conversation. How to mess around with making conversations. We could make this branch in interesting ways. We've got Joe, you've got to stop letting your mum address you, man. You're hopeless. To work into a branch of this conversation. So that is something that we could do. So, you know, yeah, let's throw that in here. What's a public key? Let's throw that into, if you take the short option, give me the cliff notes. yeah, let's put that in here. So we'd write send, then we give the character name who's sending that, and then we give the string that they're gonna send. That's kind of funny. Whoops. So you choose it. Taking a shortcut, eh? Joe, you are a bit of a Joey, aren't you? And the response would probably be what? Oh, I'm typing. Oh, yeah, you need me out of the way so you can see what I'm typing. Are there going to be any Easter eggs or secrets? Oh, yeah. We're planning on putting some pretty good Easter eggs in, certainly. I won't necessarily I won't tell you all of them, but like a good example is what I was talking about earlier about dumpster diving. The idea that you know, actually, if you look through enough rubbish bags, you might find some interesting piece of information that might help you find something secret in the game. If you hack certain things in the right order, you might get something interesting. I don't want to give too much away about what Easter eggs there will be in the game, because otherwise, you know, you'll already know them. So, heading back to this, Smedley. I'm going to write Smedley as the character name again. Joe. You better stop your mum address. You're hopeless, man. There we go. It's in the game. It's a shame that unknown user had to go. I will let them know. Let me just take a picture. No, I'll take a picture in a minute. We'll get there. I think this works this way. Oh no. Send response. Like a baby. Is it a wallaby's a baby Joey? A Joey is a baby kangaroo or a baby wallaby? I can never remember. Let's Google it. Joey. Wallaby? A wallaby is a small. A Joey is a sex. Wallaby Joey. Yep. So a what? Like a baby wallaby. And then Smedley will say, lol, no. Okay, and then Joe, you gotta stop letting you dress your mama dress you, man. You're hopeless. Right, yeah. Then we'll send the response. Dot, 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 I'm lost. Why do I want to take a picture? I want to take a picture to send to unknown user because I think I know who unknown user is. Best man. And unknown user's line that he picked out from hackers has just gone in. R is twice. Oh, okay, right. R is twice. Where did I write R? R. Good spot. Thank you. Oops. So we're going to say, Smedley's going to say, don't worry about it. He's trying to explain PGP encryption, and he takes the shortness. What's a public key? Back to public keys. It's the thing that allows you to know it's me that's speaking and stops anyone else reading a conversation between us. Cool. So I think that'll work as well. I can't remember whether you can put send response in the middle of a conversation, or whether it has to be at the, or of a function, conversational function, or whether it only has to be at the end. But oh yeah, let's take this picture. Sorry, just a second. Right. So we were going to test this. That was the next thing to do. Let's pause because it's gone jaggy. Who do you think is unknown user? Well, I mean, unknown user has used the name unknown user for a reason. So I probably ought to not say it on a live stream. As to who I think unknown user is my answer to that, best man. Cryptic, I know. Right, let's hit go on that again. And pop in search for game, hit start. Should load up. It's looking better. Oh, it was gonna. What's that? Yeah. Cool. So. Yep. That is a little smoother, isn't it? So, what are we expecting here? We're going to install Crypt Chat. Oh yeah, we should get our conversation. So, what's a public key? And we're going to say, give me the cliff notes. Smedley is going to say, ha, taking the shortcut, hey Joe, you're a bit of a Joey, aren't you? A what, like a baby wallaby? Smedley is typing, lol, no. Joe, you got to stop letting your mum address you. You're hopeless, man. I'm lost. I guess, yeah, so maybe this is where we can do some branching conversation stuff, actually. Because you're not, as a player, you're not necessarily lost there, actually. You might know the hacker's quote. Don't worry about it. Back to public keys. It's the thing that allows you to know it's me speaking and stops anyone else reading the conversation between us. Okay, sure, send it then, I guess, question mark. Ooh. Best man, I've just had an idea. Let's put an Easter egg in right now. Let's put an Easter egg in for if anyone takes this conversational path and recognizes the hacker's quote. What do you reckon? I think that's a good idea. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, cool. So to make that happen, we are going to want to, well, let's put some music on in the background again. We're going to want to go here. Right, so I'm lost. Instead of sending the response, I'm lost, we want to have two options. So the other thing that you can do in send response is actually you can make it run different functions based on how you've answered, and you just basically override it. Instead of with just a string, you put in a comma and then a function name afterwards, and put in two of them, or you know, 3 or 4. Like, we could put as many in as we want, actually. Yeah, that could work. So we put in a comma after I'm lost, and we make a new function called lost. We're going to do a few of these answers. Let's do 3 answers just to show, like, in this, like, you've got to be careful when doing this kind of thing, basically, because you can create just a ridiculously branching conversation if you're not careful. But for now, we're going to do that. We're going to right, this function is going to be called lost. Function. Yes, back to work. You're saying yes. You're telling me yes, back to work on this this Easter egg that I said that we could make together. You're cracking the whip. Yeah, all right. I thought I was getting back to work. Right, so lost function. I'm lost. Don't worry about it. Back to public keys. So, then we need to change. We need to work out what the other answers are going to be. So, I mean, one would be, I know that. Quote. I know the quote. It's from somewhere. I know that quote from somewhere, so we'd make a function called no quote. No quote. So, best man, I'm going to need you to try and help me come up with some of this stuff for this Easter egg we're putting in. Any ideas on what we should say in response on the third response? We're going to have I'm lost, I know that quote from somewhere, and something else. So we've got a no quote function. Send. Well, we're going to have Smedley go. Bonus points for guessing right. Let's say hang on, I've heard that somewhere. What's the third option in the conversation going to be, best man? Instead of I'm lost. Like, is this a quote from the cartoon? No, this quote is I wonder if you Google it, whether you get it. This quote, Joe, you got to stop letting your mum address you, you're hopeless man, is from the film Hackers from 1995 with Angelina Jolie. It's a classic.
You're hopeless, man. Utterly hopeless. You're hopeless, man. Utterly hopeless. You're hopeless, man. Utterly hopeless.
You can probably hear that. Perfect. This one. I don't think my... Yeah, I just did Google it. You just heard...
You're hopeless, man. Utterly hopeless.
See? So... So now you just got to Google, you got to find the clip. But anyway, that's the main thing you need to be doing is working out what we're doing as the third option. You either know the quote, you don't know the quote. Can we even have a third option? Do we just drop the third option? We don't have to have a third option. So Smedley's going to say... Bonus points for guessing. Send. Oh no, send response, I guess. Send response is going to be... It's from a movie. Yeah. My daughter is into. Sorry, can't help. I'm not a smart boy. Yeah, you can help. All I need is, like, if you were having a conversation with someone and they were like, they gave you like a random quote. If they said to you, imagine in this instance, you're Joe and I'm Smedley, and I go, ha, taking the shortcut, hey Joe, you're a bit of a Joey, aren't you? And you'd be like, a what? Like a baby wallaby? Smedley goes, lol, no. And then you go, and then Smedley says to you, Joe, you got to stop letting your mum address you, a hopeless man. You can say, I'm lost. You'd say, hang on, I've heard that somewhere. Or what else would you say? You might say, my mama doesn't dress me. Yeah, maybe we'd say that. My mama doesn't dress me, I'm a grown man. Right, if you can think of something better than that, then we'll put it in. If you can't, don't worry, there'll be other opportunities for you to think of lines. Right, I'm lost. Hang on, I've heard that somewhere. My mama doesn't dress me, I'm a grown man. Or just silence and say nothing, that is true. Yeah, let's add that in. Then we can have a fourth option. Let's put that as the first option, is just silence. So that will run a function called silence. And for silence, I guess we just put a dot, dot, dot. Like just dot, dot, dot. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Perfect. So, silence. I'm lost. Hang on, I've heard that somewhere. Or my mum doesn't dress me, I'm a grown man. So then we've got to have silence as a function. Oh man, my fingers are stupid. Right, what's going to be in silence? Smedley might say, speak up, man. Oh, yeah, needs to be from Smedley. And yeah, and then we'd maybe then move back to lost. So that would just run the function lost. Functions, if you don't know anything about programming, functions in most languages are literally just a pair of brackets after a word, and that says run this thing, run this code named this thing, and then it looks for the function. So this is the function lost. So silence will get Smedley to say speak up, man. Don't worry about it, back to public keys. Then we need lost. Lost goes to lost. Hang on, I've heard that quote is no quote, and my mama doesn't dress me, I'm a grown man. Maybe that one should be grown man. Grown man. And as you can see, this can become pretty complex pretty quickly. This is what branching conversation sort of looks like in code. Now, obviously, like if you're in a major studio or if you're not making something moddable, you may well have a node graph or something that actually displays a visualization of your conversation tree. But actually, that allows you to make more unmanageable conversations. So, to some extent, this is a protection against you tying yourself in knots. So, grown man. Well, you better put your big boy pants on. Because we've got a hell of a lot more to learn than PGP. Better put your big boy pants on. Oh, well, that needs to be from Smedley, otherwise it will show up without a user. Because we've got hell of a lot more to learn than PGP. GP. We can have a response from the player at that point. Oh, send response. Yeah. So what is a public key then? And what we're going to do is we'll make a duplicate of lost and just take first line of that out. And we'll call this function what is the difference between send and send response? Send is sending a message from any character that you've defined earlier on. So in this case, we've defined the characters up here, Joe and Smedley. So we could write send Joe, send Smedley, or if we put in best man like this, I think it'll be all right with this. Sometimes you have to do a bit more work with something like this, but let's just try it out. Best man. So if we put send next to where were we at? We were changing this loss function. No, that says grown man. Best man. So send basically can send data, a quote or a piece of conversation data from any character. Send response, and that is non-interactive. It just turns up as a conversation bubble showing the text. Whereas send response will always send it from the player character, which is the character called Joe, and it allows input. So it brings it up the send response as a response window that the player has the ability to select between options. So yeah, that's the difference between send and send response. But yeah, this might work, this might not. Might be breaking something there. We'll try that in a bit. Let me just get this right first, and then we'll put best man in. Oh no, let's see. What's the worst that could possibly happen? Because it won't compile. That will be the worst that could possibly happen. It's not going to explode. Best man. So that needs to be we'll call that short 2 function. Okay. So what is a public key then? We'll run short 2 and now if we hit save, fingers crossed this will work, and if it doesn't, then we'll fix it. So, connecting the game. Oh, pardon me, it's getting late now. Nearly midnight. So, we're gonna go for a jog up here. So this should bring us to our branching conversation, and you'll see bollocks. Okay, line 50 doesn't like in that conversation. It's going to be something stupid. Line 50. Alright, let's have a look. Send response. So there aren't any commas between these. So just to make that clearer and easier to see, we could just format this way. And then I wouldn't have missed that, basically. Right, that looks correct now. Hit save. And we'll try running it again. This game will be lit. Thank you. I'm glad to hear that. Right, let's just check this isn't broken. I like the way you spell bollocks too. Bollocks. Right. I hope I saved that. Yeah, I did. Right. So, a little jaggy again, but run around the corner here. And fingers crossed this is going to get us to our 54. Unexpected. Okay. Alright, yeah, that is that. I'm not supposed to put a comma on the end one, apparently. Which is weird, because usually Lua is fine with you putting a comma on the last element in a table. But I did wonder that when I did it. Alright, so back to the project. Stop. Start. Right back up. Fatal error, fatality. Yes, best man, it is a bit of a fatality when your Lua code doesn't run. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. No, still doesn't like line 71 now. Okay. Line 71. That's why, because that hasn't been defined as a function. Just wrote the word short to. Nothing else stupid like that. Looks fine. Alright, this time it should run. Promise. Come on. So, let's see. Line 92. Well, that. Oh, hang on. No. That should be fine. Ah, there you go, that's why. Oh, right, yeah, I haven't even finished that one anyway, that's why. No, that's not the word. So, we got to finish writing the bit for no quote. Bonus points for guessing, yeah, something my daughter is into. It's from a book. Let's start the function book. It's out of a movie. Movie. Spell it right. Movie. It's from a book. It's from a movie. It's from a song. Joe, 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 you gotta stop letting your mama dress you, you hopeless man. It could be a song. It's from a song. So, that gives us another 3 functions. So you can start to tell how this little conversation is starting to get kind of crazy quite quickly. Bung all these down here as well. And that reminds me, you can't do that. Tab that in. Yeah, let's not do that. Let's pop it on the end. Give it a space. So, oh, for fuck's sake. Stream went down briefly there. I think we're back. So, hopefully I haven't lost everyone completely. It says I've got 0 viewers. I hope that I hope it's wrong. But if it is, I was finishing up anyway. We just get these last 3 functions in. So we need a function called book. A function called movie. Keeps trying to write ending. And a function called song. Oh right, yeah. I need to not forget that we're going to set a variable though with something. So function song. Right. To do. Add Easter egg. Yeah. Put some music back on. So I guess for book we'll say not even close. Wah wah. And we'll run, don't worry about it, so lost. Song. Not even close. Run lost. Don't worry about it, back to public keys. And movie, we will say warmer. I'll run a function called quote. Mm. I think I'm going to have to keep a bottle of whiskey around so that on my work desk, so that when it gets to doing these late night streams, I can like have a chill, drink a fine malt whiskey. Right, quote. What's quote gonna say? Okay, I need 3 hacker movies then. Best man, if you're there, we're going to have one of them's going to be hackers, obviously. If you can think of 2 other hacker movies. One hour of development, 1 minute of chat. Yeah. Well, you know, this is even pretty fast, really. I have been explaining it as we go along. But yeah, you're right. You know, games take a lot of effort to make. Yeah, give me 2 other hacker movies. Right, so I'm going to run a quote there. We're going to write send response. Anonymous, Algorithm, The Matrix. Cool. Let's put all 3 of them in. The Italian Job, a hacker movie. I mean, it's a heist movie. There's no hacking in The Italian Job. I'm not even sure hacking existed when The Italian Job was made. I mean, like, if you really wanted to stretch the term, maybe they hacked a Mini, a Mini Cooper. I don't know. Right, you've given me more than 3. You want me to put all of these in? Yeah, okay. All right. Anonymous. Did you say algorithm? Anonymous, algorithm, the Matrix, the Italian Job. Anonymous? Anonymous, anonymous. Anonymous, algorithm. The Matrix. Oh, here's a fun trick. Double cursor. Ooh, messed that up though. That's exactly like the Matrix. Typing in two places. What did we say next? The Italian Job. You just kept giving answers. Black Hat, untraceable. Just some examples. I found them on 12 best hacker movies. You need to watch them right now in 2019. What if I watch some of them not in 2019? So, Italian Job, Black Hat, untraceable. To be honest, that list, there's some terrible examples there. I mean, like, The Matrix is a fantastic movie. That's good. The Italian Job is a great movie. It's not a hacker movie though, unless the remake. But I mean, I've only seen the Michael Caine version from the '60s, where he goes, "You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off." That's where that one comes from. He doesn't go, "You're only supposed to use SQL map." Although he should. I might have to put that in somewhere now. Black Hat is, I haven't seen it, but I've heard so many people complain about how bad it is. Untraceable, not seen it. So Black Hat, untraceable, and hackers. So Black Hat. Yeah, I know. I got the Matrix wrong. I mean, it's that thing of also kind of whether you want to put some spelling mistakes in because they're having a text message conversation, right? That's a question to ponder. So I guess actually we don't really need an answer for all of those, because all of these can be wrong. Wrong. Correct. Right, so now we just need a wrong function. Correct. Best man has 5% battery. That's okay. Well, yeah, we're gonna wrap up here pretty much. We're literally just doing these last two functions, and then we're gonna make a note for the Easter egg, and then I've got to decide what the Easter egg will be. I think a Steam achievement at the very least. Movie buff. Yeah, let's call it movie buff. Steam achievement. I think that's a good one. So, wrong. Smedley would say nope. And lost. So, bingo. And then the function that we're going to run there is we're going to have to set a key in the mission script, I think. How do I make an achievement? I'm not started implementing Steam achievements yet, so actually there isn't anything in the Lua side that I can do to actually call it. So what I'll do is I'll end up making a placeholder. But I'll show you everything that we do Lua side for making an achievement. So send response. Bingo. Right, so I think what we're going to do in order to do that is we're going to set in the same way as we do for, we're going to have this, we're going to set a state for movie buff Steam achievement completed. False. And then basically, once we've got this movie buff achievement state, we're then going to probably run a mission command to set it. I think, let me just check that. Mission.getBall, yeah, mission.setBall. Yep. We should be able to we're going to basically get that movie buff achievement completed, and we're right, mission.setBall. Oh, we're gonna have to do a bit more than that actually. That's the right name, movie buff. Oh, spell achievement, so we'll get that right first. Achievement completed. Right, so we run mission command. That's how you run a command outside of the mission script that would otherwise be in the mission script. And I think it's literally just a string like that. Let's just check on the dev laptop. Yeah. Run mission command, mission setBall, and actually we don't need to add the Steam achievement there. We're gonna add that into the mission script. So run mission script, and that should then basically set this to true. And that will give us our Steam achievement, and we'll put up a little notification saying so. And it wouldn't necessarily just be Steam, whatever platform you're playing on. So maybe that should be platform achievement. Okay, so this should now be done. There'll probably be some errors, but this should have all of this stuff as multiple choice basically. Now, so let's pause the music here, go to development, hit stop. Oh, I'm getting tired of wearing headphones. Start. What is buff? Well, means something different now, doesn't it? buff means like, well, when you say a movie buff, you mean like a movie boffin, really. You mean someone who's a bit of a movie nerd or a movie expert, I suppose. But then now all the young people say buff for hot or sexy. It means muscly as well. But I mean movie buff, which doesn't mean movie muscly or movie sexy. It means movie expert. Right. Yep, see, it's gone a little bit laggy again because we left the editor open or running in the background, so it must be some kind of RAM thing. 107. Doesn't like 107. Yep, that would be why. Quote. Can we get rid of quote? Yeah, I think we did. I don't think that exists. Grown man song correct. No. Let's just check. Quote. Oh no, is it? Known quote. Known quote. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Right. This should work. Let's make it play better. Search for game. Start. And anytime now. There we go. It's, oh no, it stops working usually elsewhere, doesn't it? Right, use the iTunes app, put some tunes on in the background. Check the weather. Calendar. Right. Install encrypt chat. Best man doesn't have a net device. Yeah, I thought it might tell me that. So best man, you can't be a character unless I go and define you elsewhere. So I'm afraid we're going to have to nip you out for now. If you're in the stream chat again when I'm making characters, and you make enough noise, then we might be able to put that right another time. But for now, I'm going to fix that the easy way by deleting you. Right. So we're going to have to change that to say Smedley to get this to run. It wouldn't have made sense in this conversation anyway, so I would have had to have deleted it anyhow. But like I say, keep turning up to the streams, and you can keep making suggestions for things, and I'm sure there'll be times when you or something else that you suggest ends up in the game. Kind of like happened with the movies just now. Okay, that should work. Let's try that again. Stop. Start. Right. Put the tunes on. Let's see. Looks like it's working. So it says, okay, Crypt Chat is installed. Can we make this bigger? Not a lot bigger. Bit more legible. Anyway, it says, okay, Crypt Chat is installed. Let me send you my public key. We say, what's a public key? Here you go. Give me the cliff notes instead of I've got time. Smedley says, ha! Taking the shortcut. Hey, Joe. You're a bit of a Joey, aren't you, Joe? A what? Like a baby lullaby. A wallaby. Lullaby. Baby lullaby. Lol, no. Joe, you gotta stop letting your mama dress you. You're hopeless, man. So here's our answers. ... I'm lost. Hang on, I've heard that somewhere. My mama doesn't dress me. I'm a grown man. So we'd then go, hang on, I've heard that somewhere. Oh, and it's broke. Line 62. Alright, what doesn't it like about that? I'm going to take these ... out of here. .62 function. Send with a small s. Alright, load it again. Not liking it very much. Have we crashed it? Sync on a bit. Disconnect it from the game. I think we have crashed it. Unsurprising. Yeah. Yeah, okay. We'll open that back up again. Are you ending up stream? Am I finishing up the stream? I am. Yeah, I'm just going to prove this thing works. and then we're going to close the stream up probably in the next few minutes, as long as it works. So just open up the not least because I've been sat here for what, 3 hours without moving. Bum, 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 bum. So hit play on that. Hit search for game, start. Move this into the middle here. I crashed it again. Nope, it's alright. Make it a bit bigger so you can see it. Guess I want to print the state at some point, don't I? Probably. Oh, I just skipped through that whole conversation, didn't I? Have to do that again. Wasn't paying any attention. If it doesn't work, another 10 hours. Well, I don't know whether I got another 10 hours in me. That would be that'd be tomorrow afternoon, my time. If it doesn't work, then we'll have a quick look at it, and otherwise we'll finish up for tonight, and I'll fix it tomorrow. Dun, dun, dun. Right, so I think it works because it didn't crash when I skipped through it there without reading. So, okay, Crypt Chat is installed, it says. Let me send you my public key. What's a public key? How long do you got? Give me the cliff notes. Smedley Butler is typing. Taking the shortcut, eh, Joe? You are a bit of a Joey, aren't you? A what? Like a baby wallaby? Lol, no. Joe, you got to stop letting your mum address you. You're hopeless, man. And then we've got our choices. I'm lost. Hang on, I've heard that somewhere. My mum doesn't address me. Oh, hang on, I've heard that somewhere. Bonus points for guessing. Yeah, something my daughter is into, if I recall. It's from a book. It's out of a movie. It's from a song. It's out of a movie. Oh, 76. Line 76 is somewhere wrong. Nearly there. Another small send. I've got to change all the S's on send. I should probably just... Yeah, that's what it is. Capital S, capital S, capital S. Send. Send, 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 send. No. Send, 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 lost. Send, 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 lost, send, send, send. That's a small s. Needs fixing. That's a small s. Oh man, it's let me do this too many times. The IntelliType should have stopped me doing that. Send, 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 end. Okay. Well, it shouldn't be that now. I crashed it again. Wah, wah, wah. Yep. Okay. Ba, ba, ba. Whistle sound. Yeah. Right. Launch that mainline project. Okay. Play the game. Make this window bigger. Move everything into the center a bit. Search for game. Start networking. Pardon me. Okay. CryptChat is installed. What's a public key? How long you got? Give me the cliff notes. Or what? Like a baby wallaby. Lol, no. Joe, you gotta stop letting your mum address you, man. You're hopeless. Hang on, I've heard that somewhere. Bonus points for guessing. Yeah, something my daughter is into, if I recall. It's out of a movie. Warmer. Is it from that film? Oh, we can only show 4 options. There you go. Anonymous, Algorithm, The Matrix, Hackers. Hackers. Attempt to call nil value. Lure, execute, string error, chunk 2. Well, that's a different error. Execute stream error. Haven't seen that one before. Well, oh, it's freaking crashed again. Well, I think that might be a good place to finish up even, because that is something outside of the conversation itself that's causing the error. Wonder what that is. Run mission command. Oh! Oh, well, that's why that's doing that. Because that's going to be there. Yeah. Just some shonky code. Alright, well, let's test whether that's working or not. Will it let me back to... No, it keeps crashing Unity. Oh, I've got a cramp in my leg. Ah! Mainline project. Oh! Right. Play. Got a new subscriber on YouTube an hour ago. Someone liked it. Delete 2 movies. Yeah, you're right. Do have to delete. Oh, right. Yeah, because that might be causing a problem. Yeah, you could be right about that too. Well, more than 2. Need to right. Which ones? Which ones do we want in there? I reckon. I don't know what untraceable is. Let's have a Google. (2008) untraceable. FBI agent Jennifer Marsh is tasked with hunting down a serial killer who posts live videos of his victims on the internet. As time runs out, the cat and mouse chase becomes more personal. Who's it starring? Colin Hanks. I don't know. Not even heard of that. Let's get rid of that. Algorithm. I've not heard of either. Let's search that. Algorithm. 52 movies named Algorithm. Feature film. They need a feature film called Algorithm. Algorithm 2014. Oh, okay. I think I might have seen this. Algorithm 2014. A freelance computer hacker discovers a mysterious government computer program, breaks into the program, and is thrust into a revolution. No, I haven't seen it. 4.7 out of 10 though. It's not done very well on IMDb. What do you mean? What am I talking about? I'm reading the movies. These four. Let's see what Anonymous. Anonymous. Film from 2011 called Anonymous. The theory that it was in fact Edward de Vere, Earl of Oxford, who penned Shakespeare's plays set against the backdrop of the succession of Queen Elizabeth and the Essex Rebellion against her. No, that ain't a hacker movie. Anonymous 2016. Don't know whether I've seen that either. Is that the one that? Anonymous follows Alex Danilyuk, a teenager learning the ins and outs of computer programming. When his family fears financial trouble, he turns to a life of crime and identity theft, fueled by rage at the banking institution status quo. Dunno. Let's keep those four. start. Right. This should work. Oh, I've just skipped through it. Not tested it. Start again. What is a public key? Give me the cliff notes. A baby wallaby. Ah, hang on, I've heard that somewhere. Yeah, something my daughter is into, if I recall. It's out of a movie. It's from that film, The Matrix, Hackers, The Italian Job. Hackers. Bingo. And that gives us our Steam achievement. Don't worry about it. Back to public keys. It's the thing that allows you to know it's me speaking. And stops anyone else reading the conversation between us. Okay, sure. Send it then, I guess. On its way. We'll ping you securely when you have it. Perfect. And that is now working. So, that is a good place to leave off. I suppose I would like to say thank you very much to all of you folks that dropped in at different times. We had 30 people on the stream at one point across different platforms, so that's quite exciting. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching the stream, and I'll be back again in 2 weeks. We're gonna be sticking with bi-weekly, so every 2 weeks on a Thursday evening, 9:30 London time, 9:30 p.m. London time, and we're just gonna be doing more of this stuff. Remember to wishlist off-grid. See that QR code? That one? That QR code. Yep, follow it to get to the off-grid store on Steam and wishlist us. That's one of the biggest things you can do to support this game, is to wishlist it. It kind of gives us a metric for people who are definitely interested in purchasing the game. Like and subscribe on any of those channels or any others that you find us on. And jump in the Discord, because Discords are cool. And if you're a game dev or you make games of any kind, I'll just transition back, because for the 3rd year running, me and some friends, that's another dev friend called Joe Bain, and our good friend Tim from Sheridan's, Tim Davies, we are running an indie dev demo, what do you call it, event, I suppose, where basically we're showing the best of London indie development. So if you're a developer in London or the London area or in the UK in general, please do submit your game here to Bonus Stage. You can find us at Bonus Stage 2, and I will drop the link in the comments so that you can find it easily. Yeah, we want your games, so please come and submit a demo, and we will play it, and if it's good, we'll put it in the event. You get to demo to people as part of London Games Festival. So yeah, do that. I guess without further ado, I'm gonna head off. So thanks very much for stopping by. And I look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks' time on the next one. Cool. I will now just seamlessly blend into the background here. Like this. Bye bye.